Yo, what's up, guys? If you are not aware, we are getting a patch on the 31st of January, which is coming up very, very soon. And that's not only going to bring us battle mode with friends, which is going to be sick. Also, some Series 4 and Series 5 cards are going to be dropping in Series. And we should be getting a balance patch as well. So today I'm going to go over 22 changes that I would like to see in the balance patch. Of course, I'm not expecting anything huge with this balance patch, but I'm just opening up the conversation with you guys. I'm just going to go through it really quickly, and I'll give some brief explanations. I hope you like it. Let's go. I'm going to start off with the nerfs first. So Iceman, one of the most played cards in the game, probably the most played one drop in the game right now. I think it totally come down to 1 power and would still be a relevant card. And I just don't like cards that are played in every single deck. Like I wanted some variety when I queue up, and I don't want to have to play certain cards in order to compete. On that same note, Scorpion in the same exact boat. I think Scorpion could come down 1 power as well, become a 2/1, and would still be a solid card. You already know this guy's on the list. Silver Surfer. I think I play against the Silver Surfer deck about 75% of my games. I'm not even exaggerating. This card is crazy powerful. I would make it a 3/2 and make it give +2 to the other 3-cost cards. I honestly think this card would still be playable with this nerf. I mean, your opponent usually has out like 8 or 9, I would say on average, 3 drops alongside the Silver Surfer. So you're still getting a lot of value with this card. And we give it the +2 base power just to not make it horrible. It also does make it a little worse for Mr. Negative, which I think is a problem as well. So that's my change. Zabu is the new season pass card for the season, and I don't think they're going to change it because it's new and everybody's spending money on it right now. So, but if I was to change it, I would put it as a 4 energy, 3 power. Not expecting it this patch, but hopefully the next month after. Darkhawk is one of the strongest cards in the game right now. If Zabu is nerfed, which I don't think it will be, then I would like to see Darkhawk at a 4/0. Then I think it would be okay. But if Zabu stays the same way, then I think I would like to see Darkhawk become a 5 energy, 3 power, or 4 power. It would be kind of similar to Iron Man in that regard, because they're both very strong ongoing cards, and then you can Mystique with it afterwards. I personally think Shuri is too good as well, and I would like Shuri to become a 5 energy, 4 power. At least get the 5 energy, because then it just prevents the same combo of going Shuri, then passing, and going into this unbelievably strong combo with She-Hulk and Taskmaster, which is just too good. I think this card is way too strong as a 4-drop. As a 5-cost card, you could still get it out early with like Wave or Electro, but you're gonna have to find a way to cheat her out. So Arrow is an interesting card because it's very strong still. It did get changed just from a 5/8 to a 5/7 recently in the last patch, and it used to be a 5/6 actually. I think it could be cool to make Arrow actually pull the cards in the order played. Sometimes the only way to play around it is to just get lucky with the order of the cards, how they're moved. So I think that would be a cool change. This has been my most hated card for a long time. I think Devil Dinosaur has actually gotten more fair as more powerful cards have entered the game, but I still would like to see Devil Dinosaur become a 6/4. I still just think it's a little too overpowered. And the last card for nerfs that I have here is Magneto. This card is very powerful, and before you go into the comments and you say, we're allowed to have powerful cards in the game, you want to nerf every powerful card. Hey, I'm okay with this card staying as it is, but I would personally make it 11 power. I think it's a little too good. It could potentially just be too good because there's so much Silver Surfer and Zabu going around the ladder right now. I'm not sure. This is like the go-to 6-drop in a lot of cases. There's very small drawbacks to it. Very few times where it actually hurts you to play it because you're gonna move some stuff that you don't want to move into that lane, and then you lose with in power there. But I think this card is super strong, and the 1 power, I think it will still be a solid card, and it would just make more 6-drops playable. Moving right along into buffs. So Angel used to be played a lot in the past, but feels really bad when you draw it, and you somehow like always draw it in your hand on turn 1. It's kind of like M'Baku in that sense. So instead of flying out of your deck only, I would like to see it fly out of your hand and your deck. Human Torch, the most unplayable move card in my opinion. I never put this into a move deck because of Killmonger. It just destroys it. You never want to attach a Hulkbuster to it, and then your opponent's just sitting on the Killmonger. They just unleash it at the end, and you did all this work moving it around just for nothing. So I would like to see Human Torch either brought down to 0 energy, 1 power, or to be brought up to a 2-2, just so that it avoids Killmonger. I would like to see Hawkeye go from a 1-1 to a 1-2 and then gain the +1, so it still ends up with a 1-3, but it's less punishing if you don't play the card there next turn. I don't know if that would actually make it good, but yeah. That's about the only change I want for this guy. And I know what you're gonna say in the comments. It's okay to have bad cards. We don't have to buff everything. Well, I want more playable cards. Sue me. And especially more playable 1-drops, because 1-drops aren't really played that often. So Uatu, I would like to see become a 1-1, and it gets the effect in the hand or the deck. Every deck slot is very valuable, especially in a 12-card deck. So I think you're going to be hurting yourself in some kind of way by putting this card in your deck, but it also can give you some very good information that could just make you win more games. So I think it's a very interesting card. I would like to see it played more. Baron Mordo is one of the least played cards in the game. I would like to see something happen to this. The only thing that I could really come up with was the next card your opponent draws costs +1. So it's kind of like an Iceman, but like a delayed Iceman for the next card that they draw. You just have to like rework this card, I think. Medusa was actually one of my favorite cards when I was starting out of the game, and it just falls off so hard when you get into Series 3. So I would like to see Medusa go to a 2-3 and then get the +1 if it's played on the middle location. It helps it a tiny bit. It just makes the base stats a little better for if you don't get that condition, if you don't want to play it on the middle location, which sometimes you just can't even play it there. This should make it at least a little more playable. I think 2-5 would be too good. Quake is an interesting card because it is underplayed, but it is kind of powerful in its own right. So I think the only change I would like to see to this card would just be, instead of just playing it on the middle location and getting the effect, that you could play it on the left or the right location and get the effect. That way that you can still play it on the middle if you don't want to get the effect going there, but it just gives it more flexibility. And like I said before, like sometimes you just can't play on the middle location. I would like to make Punisher into a 3-3, just so it is actually a little more playable, because this is kind of like the same boat as Medusa, where after you get into Series 3, it's a very unplayable card. This might be a little bit of a hot take, but I think Venom is an unplayable card too, and I think it could go to 2 power, and I would not really mind it. I mean, you know Crystal's going to be on this list again. This card, even with Zabu making it into a 2 energy, it still sucks. This is the same change I recommended last time, which was a 3 energy, 3 power. And then you could do something like the Quake thing that I was talking about, where you could play it on the left or the right location and get the ability. I'm not sure. Look at this beautiful signed card, Nick Fury by Samuel L. Jackson. Oh my gosh, if only he was playable. And I think he could just come up in 1 power, and that would help him out a lot. I actually don't think he's like the weakest card. It just doesn't really compete with the other cards in the game. Speaking of not competing with the other cards, Ronin could use a little buff as well. Very underplayed card, and just a lot worse than Dino, even though they have the same stats. So I would just like to see Ronin go to a 5-4 and call it a day. I think Orca could just go to +6 with the ongoing ability, go to a 15 when it has that +6, and it's probably not going to change too much, but the card just kind of doesn't feel that great for 6 energy. And I don't want to change the base stats because it's a 6-9, and that's a funny number. So yeah, that's my change for Orca. Just a couple honorable mentions. I think Electro is maybe a candidate for a change. I'm not sure. It can be very toxic, and it can be overpowered at times, but not consistently. Another card on my radar and a lot of other people's radar is Maximus. Now, I'm not sure if it's only too good because of Surfer, but this card is really, like, it's a lot of power for the energy. But the drawback is a real thing. Drawing 2 cards, drawing in Marvel Snap is that's a very powerful mechanic. So it does have quite the drawback. I'm not sure if it needs a change, but it's something to think about. And those are all the changes that I would like to see. Of course, like I said before, I don't expect 24 changes, but just anything on this list I think could be like a viable change. And I just want to see more cards see play, and maybe the cards that are seeing a lot of play see less play, just for some more variety in the game. Especially, there's some cards, especially like Scorpion and Iceman, which I see every single game, that I think should be toned down. But let me know down below in the comments what you think about my changes, if you agree with them, if you disagree, if you think I'm an idiot, or if you have some changes of your own that you want to just throw out there. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you for watching. Peace out.